So the simple truth, guys, is that we humans have fear, and we are almost inseparable with fear. We fear that the money might get exhausted. We fear that even our natural resources might get exhausted. We fear that we might even lose our own life. We're afraid of death, even though we know that it is, it will come. And we are, although I don't believe in death, permanent death, I believe in crossover. Yeah, mind you. So we believe we have fear. There's this fear that has been instilled in us, and I think it has almost become a natural thing with most humans. 90 or 99% of humans have this fear inside them. So the few 1-2% that are fearless are the ones that goes extra mile, and people that even time themselves as fearless, that are not really fearless. Because if you look deep into some kind of operations and attitude with the way you treat your resources, your money, and the likes, you know that a lot of people have fear. Maybe they have fear in some part of their life, and fearless in some other part of it. No, now talking about finances, if you have fear, it is fear that makes you budget, because you are afraid that you might run out of this money, and if you don't budget with time, things will happen and it will become so it's like an instinct, right? This is an instinct, and it is really, really faulty. It is also the same fear that makes you save, because you are afraid that someday something might happen to the source that brings in that money, and you might lose everything, and then you might not have anything to fall back on, and that is a negative fear. But people are not conscious of this fact. They still feel you have to save and budget. Now, I'm not saying stop saving or stop budgeting. I'm just trying to make something clear to all of us. This is a psychology that you really need to think it through and see for yourself. If you have an abundance mentality, I have an abundance mentality. God has provided us all the natural resources we could ever ask of. He is not an insufficient God. He knows the amount of creations he has, and he knows what to be sufficient for us. And he said he has given us insufficiency. We have abundance. We have abundance of land. We have abundance of whatever. And he has called us creators, just like TikTok has called you to. We are creators. In where you don't really see what exactly you might want, you can create for yourself. Through psychic meditation, visualization, you can create your own reality, right? So, and God is also telling us that he has given us more than enough. We have vast amount of resources that we need. We have everything that we need. So if you have this mentality that we have everything and it's endless, is inexhaustible, the natural resources of the earth is inexhaustible, contrary to what a lot of whatever people that studies whatever say. It is actually inexhaustible. This thing has been here for years, countless, and it will always be here. The land, the resources, the water, the whatever, it is recycling. It is always recycling. So now the situation now is that when I'm not afraid that this money was even brought forward by humans. There's nothing like money in natural world where humans are not there. What is money? It was born about by we humans. So if you are afraid that there's going to be an exhaustion of maybe food, if you are afraid that there's going to be an exhaustion of, let's count money in here, there's going to be an exhaustion of money, that is when you have to plan against that. So you are planning against that by budgeting and savings. And I'm not saying, I'm just trying to clarify something. We've all taught this, like I said in the previous video, the part 1. We've taught this before, that you'll be afraid and you have to save and budget. Now, what is really the solution? Instead of saving and budget, should you just spend your money anyhow? Should you just, now that is this is the real video. When you have abundance mentality, you know that there's enough for you and it can never be exhausted. Now, this is in kind of an action that might be very difficult for a lot of people to try, but it's something I really advise. But if one person in the world, or two or few people just in our society, can start up this act, and other people see the difference it makes in their life, a lot of people will emulate it. Now the thing is, when you have the abundance mentality, you should always be grateful, because even if physically, true matter, you don't have the billions, for example, but you know you have you have. Your creator is the one that created the heaven and the earth. He created the grasses, he created the food and everything, the animals and whatever. And he's the one that created you and has given you, dominion over them. So that is enough for you to be even grateful. Even if, let's say, in your own possession, personally, what you have as a steward, because I'm not saying I don't want to believe anybody owns anything. We are all stewards. It was put in our care. So what is put in your care is just one tire. You don't even have a bicycle. Be grateful for it, because this is what has been put into your care. When you are grateful for it, you know that you have other things start coming in. So that is one attitude that I think everybody should focus on. If you have the abundance mentality, gratitude should be your first nature, your first number one nature. And then secondly, if you have the abundance mentality, I really do not believe in saving and budgeting anymore. No, I don't. I believe you should share and not waste. Share, don't waste, don't buy things unnecessarily. If things that you don't really need, you can buy it for people that need it. But if you don't need it, don't buy it. Don't buy things, we should be cautious that there are people that don't have the level of your own consciousness. They don't have the level of this abundance mentality. They don't understand what it means to be abundant. They don't have that knowledge yet. So you can do for them. You can give out to them. You can make their day, instead of using that extra box to buy a shirt or earrings or whatever that you don't necessarily need. So you can just use that to make their day, to make them happy. And then we should also believe that whatever you put into the world comes back to you. In fact, more comes back to you. You give out 1 naira, more comes back to you, because you feel the joy. And it's because people have been cut off from this psychology that we are one. We are all one. We operate with the same soul. We have the same breath in all of us. Yes, there might be some, it's just like room temperature, just like oxygen on the earth. There's oxygen everywhere, but you can enter this room and it'll be smelling. You can enter another room and it'll be smelling another way. So, but it's all the same oxygen. We have all the same breath. We are all humans, born from, one creator, created by one creator with the same breath. So we are all one. We are all one soul. There might be a lot of some minor differences here, but we are all one soul. So when you make another happy, you are subconsciously making yourself happy. And that is just it. That is all I have to say with the issue of budgeting, saving, and abundance. The true abundance mentality, when it is really in you and you are fearless, does not necessarily save or budget. You just get what you need according to your simple lifestyle, because anybody with a pure abundance mentality, no, you have more than enough. Why do I have to pack and buy all the luxury? When you are a whole different human when you have the abundance mentality. You don't think you have to get the most expensive gold, because it's not necessary. It's just like you see billionaires. You don't see them with expensive shit. You don't see them with it's just people that want to, maybe that are new into wealth. They want to show off. But when you see the people that are really wealthy, I mean really, really wealthy, they don't really spend their money on unnecessary things. And that is where that comes. When you are abundant, you don't spend money unnecessarily. It's just an attitude. I'm not teaching you. This is what you notice when you become abundant. You don't spend money unnecessarily. You give out to people. You want to see others happy as you are, because you're a happy person, and happiness, you want it to flow. You want everybody around you to be happy. It's a natural trait. This is an attribute of happy, abundant people. So that clears it up. You do not need to save or budget when you have the true abundance mentality. Period.